Joe Biden and the IRS forcing people to pay taxes on Cash App and Venmo transactions over $600 is ridiculous. And I had to make a video about this to express my disgust and then create some solutions for you as a small business owner. Now, before I do that, let's get into it. I'm Prince Donnell, founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise. We are one of the fastest growing franchises in the country. And we're also at 125,000 subscribers. So shout out to everybody in the family that's supporting, watching these videos, getting the knowledge and the information. I got so many videos from do not keep your money in the bank, 5 bank accounts that you need for your LLC, what not to do when you start an LLC, LLC versus S Corp, a bunch of videos. I want you to plug in, go to my page and watch them. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I give video content daily, weekly, so check it out. But let's just get right into it. I'm going to keep this thing short and sweet and hit it on the head. So let's get into it. The Biden American Rescue Plan now wants companies like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle to report to the IRS when a small business owner has made $600 or more on their platforms. Now, if you're somebody watching this that's an individual and you're sharing the rent or the mortgage with your spouse and you're sending them Zelle or PayPal transactions, or you and your friends are splitting the bill for dinner, that's not what I'm talking about here. You have nothing to worry about. Those are personal transactions that you're not taxed on. What I'm talking about is income that's being received through Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, and these other peer-to-peer platforms. If it's $600 or more that you received, now the IRS wants to know, and now you're going to be issued a 1099-K that you'll have to report and potentially have a tax liability. Now, let's talk about the history. Before this rescue plan, which it's funny calling it a rescue plan because of this ideal that's being rolled out. Before this, platforms, these peer-to-peer platforms like Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, you weren't going to receive a 1099-K and it didn't have to be reported to the IRS unless you generated $20,000 or more in income received or 200 transactions. I know this because I use these platforms all the time, and I read up on it over the past years, and it's crazy that it's now being switched to 600. Now, if you make a few hundred or even a few $1,000s from a side hustle, you're now going to be taxed, which I fully disagree with. And even as an accounting and tax professional, it's hard for me to stand behind Joe Biden and this rescue plan that's being released for a few different reasons. Number one, it's devastating to individuals who aren't even trying to start a small business. They're literally selling one-off products so that they can supplement their income outside of their salary to pay their bills. I'm talking about people who are like just trying to make ends meet. Like if I'm selling a platter or I'm selling lemonade or one-off products that I made from my home just to make a couple extra dollars to pay down my mortgage, I'm now going to be taxed for that. It's ridiculous. That's number one. Number two, when you create a bunch of restrictions around a free market, all it does is give people more ideas on how to hide their cash or to find legal loopholes or work around with their accountants and different things to be able to hide their money. And to be honest, that's what I really think is going to end up happening when you squeeze down like this on the market. And number three, this is exactly what happens when a bunch of cash is being printed and thrown into the marketplace, and we're like, hey, we're getting stimulus checks, we're getting PPP, that's what happens, because now the government makes money from tax dollars. And now that they've printed all this money, got it pushed out into the economy, they want their money back. So now they're squeezing down on small business owners as a part of their rescue plan. And not even small business owners, individuals who just need to meet basic needs to be able to pay down their mortgage or pay their car note. And with that, I can't necessarily stand behind it. I don't agree with it. Again, if this now moves into law, and which I believe it has as of January 2022. And number three, that's what happens when you're printing so much money and pushing it into the free market, from stimulus checks to PPP loans and etc. Hey, the boys got to get paid back, right? And I said this before, that nothing in this world is free money. There's ramifications that come to that, and the government gets paid through tax dollars. So now they're trying to squeeze in on this gap that they say that they're missing and losing out on from tax dollars, because it's not being reported, and now it's falling down onto small business owners, a part of this rescue plan, who many of them aren't even small business owners to begin with. They're just individuals trying to make their ends meet. But now they're caught up in a loophole of having to potentially pay taxes on these dollars. So with that, I can't agree. But enough of my soapbox, because, hey, what do I know? It's just my opinion. But as of the top of year 2022, you could potentially be receiving a 1099K regardless of your transaction limit if you've generated $600 or more through these peer-to-peer platforms. So no more Cash App only, Venmo only, PayPal only, because you thought it was a loophole there. There's not one. They tightened it up. And with that being said, I want to go into solutions now. Enough with the soapbox. Let's get to solutions. And really, to me, there's one primary solution that has to go into play. If you're an individual that's now selling products on the side, small business owner that's utilizing these peer-to-peer platforms, and you were under that $20,000 mark, hey, now you're going to have to start running your business like a real business, right? It's no longer time it's no longer just be thinking one-sided now and just doing this as like, I'm not really going to worry about my accounting. I'm not going to worry about my bookkeeping. Well, now that's going to get you in trouble. And you're going to potentially miss out on hundreds of tax write-offs. So here's what I'm encouraging you to do right now. I'm encouraging you to get tight on your accounting and bookkeeping. How can you do that? First things first, there are a ton of platforms that you can utilize to be able to set up a bookkeeping account and to connect your bank account that'll be able to pull those transactions. So what I would suggest first is setting up a separate bank account now for all of your transactions that you're receiving from Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, etc. Separate bank account. And by the way, I'm talking for people that are like making less than 20K and you're the one that's being affected by this. Set up a separate account now. And what you're going to do is get your bookkeeping, some sort of online bookkeeping software established. Allow that bookkeeping software to pull those transactions in. And then now with that separate account, get a debit card or credit card with it. So now when you're buying your products, whether it be food, lemonade, like lemons or small things that you're running, now you're able to get these write-offs. On top of the fact that you get write-offs if you're doing it from your home. If like this thing got to become you got to do it the right way now, or you're going to end up having to pay taxes on money that you could have possibly gotten a write-off on. You want to start running this as a legitimate business now because you can't afford not to. So, and the beauty behind that is, now you're able to write off some of the things such as your phone bill if it's being used for business purposes, home office expense if you're running this business out of your home, gas, potentially your lease or your car note if you're driving. These are all things now that you have the ability to benefit from because of the fact that you're going to be receiving a 1099K for this reported income, and you're now looked at as a business. So I want you to change your mindset and think of it as a benefit possibly, but your bookkeeping and accounting has to be in play, okay? And also to plug real quick is that with Jumping Jack Tax, with my accounting franchise, we actually offer an accountability program where for small business owners, we actually handle all of your bookkeeping for you. And we hop on a phone call with you every single month to have a monthly consultation to overview your profit loss, your cash flows, your balance sheets. We go through all of that. Text accountability to 267-792-0185, and our team can talk about being able to take you on as a client if you need assistance with that. But again, it's a benefit for you. Now, this is the last thing here now in this video out is that with the 1099K that you receive, let's say that you receive it and it has $15,000 on it. You're not responsible for paying taxes on $15,000. With that 1099K, you're not responsible for paying taxes on the $15,000 that you received on the 1099. You're responsible for profits. So let's say you earned $15,000, but you had $10,000 in expenses that you can prove because you have proper bookkeeping and accounting in place for write-offs and et cetera. Now you're only responsible for paying taxes on that profit of that $5,000, right? So don't be alarmed when you get that 1099K because all of it is not going to be taxed, okay? And again, like I said, start shaping your mind around, okay, I got to start thinking of this as a business now because the government, of course, is now forcing you to do that. It's no longer under the table anymore, which could end up being a good thing for you because this could be the very thing that pushes you to take this thing to the next level like you already were thinking about, but now you have to. You got to get your stuff in order. And this could take you to possibly getting a $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year revenue or more with your business now because you're more serious about it. Because that's how, if I'm thinking from an optimistic standpoint, although I don't agree, optimistically, I'm like, hey, well, this is an opportunity to force me to take this thing serious. All right. So again, and with that, this is not for individuals who are just using this for personal purposes, such as rent, bills, and different things of that nature. This is for income only, if you're getting income from these platforms. All right, so leave your opinion in the comments. How do you feel about this new rescue plan that's being put in place on PayPal and for PayPal, Venmo, Cash App transactions? And also, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is how we are able to get our channel out to more small business entrepreneurs, to watch these videos, to stay up to date with the latest tax news and business finance that I talk about here on my channel. And lastly, go to my channel. I have a ton of different videos on LLCs, bank accounts, all types of stuff that can help you to grow your small business. With that being said, I'm Prince Donnell, founder of the Jumping Jack Tax franchise. Thank you so much for 125,000 subscribers as we continue to grow. I'll see y'all again soon. Peace.